You said that President Biden was familiar with what his son was going to say on Capitol Hill. If I called my dad and said, I am about to violate a congressional subpoena, he'd probably say, son, you shouldn't do that. Was there any attempt by President Biden to talk Hunter out of it today?
You're going to call your dad Steve?
Call him Dad, usually.
Look, I don't have anything else to add. The president was familiar with what Hunter was going to say today. Look, he's proud of his son. He and the First Lady are proud of his son, how he's rebuilding his life back. To his representatives, I'm just not going to get into private conversations because what you're asking me is actually a private conversation. I'm just not going to get into it.
First briefing since Hunter was indicted again in Los Angeles. Why doesn't President Biden just pardon him?
President, I've been very clear. The president's not going to pardon him.
You just said the president was familiar with what his son was going to say today. Was the president involved in drafting it, discussing it? Did he offer advice?
I don't have anything else to add. He was familiar. I don't have anything else to add.
Can you tell us when the last time the two of them spoke?
I mean, I'm also not going to get into private conversation that the president has with his family. We've been pretty consistent. That's nothing new.
Is the president okay with his son defying a congressional subpoena?
I'm just not going to get into specifics on that. I would have to refer you to the president's, not the president, but Hunter's personal representatives.
The president spent a lot of time in Congress, been around Washington a while. Does he believe that congressional subpoenas are something that individual citizens can ignore?
I'm just not going to speak to that. Just not.
Why not? Why not?
You want to be more specific on your question?
No, just general. He's a former senator. He's issued subpoenas in his career. Does he believe that subpoenas have to be complied with?
I'm just going to have you speak to the White House counsel on this. I'm just not going to speak to that.
Everything else today, did he spend any time watching what his son had to say outside the Capitol?
So just a couple of things on that, and I want to be really clear. Look, as you know, Hunter Biden is a private citizen, and so I certainly would refer you to his representatives. Look, the president was certainly familiar with what his son was going to say, and I think what you saw was from the heart from his son. And you've heard me say this. You've heard the president say this. When it comes to the president and the First Lady, they are proud of him continuing to rebuild his life. They are proud of their son. The president is also focused on the important work of the American people. We just went back and forth about what's happening at the border and how he wants to make sure that we secure the border and the work that he and his team has been doing.
Republicans say that they have to take this vote, formalizing an impeachment inquiry, because the White House is stonewalling them. What's your response to that?
The White House is stonewalling the House Republicans who have been really pushing this impeachment without any evidence, without doing this political stunt. I mean, that's what they've been doing over and over again. Since you say that they're saying that we're not compromised or cooperating, they've gotten 100,000 pages of documents. Instead of doing the work of the American people, they're doing this. They're doing political stunts. And we've been very clear about that. I'm just going to go to the back